From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big midday here on LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2022. As not one, not two, but three major checks have now landed. Have you got to them? I'll go over those incredible three checks in today's recording, and I'll answer your questions live on air. What are those three checks? They are A, $6,500 check made law March 31st, $15,000 to $80,000 check B, made law March 4th, and then those MSC checks made law in 2021. Then we're going to go over the routing time for these checks and all the other checks you need to know, and when they're landing, how they're landing, and how you get them. For stimulus, we just went over the latest details on that. Then we'll be going the routing times for that Build Back Better Act checks. Then next over to that sixth stimulus. What's happening with that? That is to battle a recession. That SS300 impacted by those inflationary pressures. What's the routing time on that? And then we'll be looking over to what's going on with that student loan debt forgiveness and the horizon on that for May 2nd. Then we'll be turning back to the second half of this video because you know how we do it on this channel. We'll be going over how to prepare for Easter. The big money and the big deliciousness, because with Easter just around the corner, what do you want to eat? Maybe you want to eat some delicious Danny Kean delicious cinnamon rolls. We'll be going over cinnamon rolls, how to prepare for Easter. Are they cinnamon rolls that are landing in my bank account? Direct deposit cinnamon rolls, multiple cinnamon roll per month. We'll go over that as well. If you've been with Home LA, you know how we rock and roll. The first half of this recording is your big money, and today's recording will go over routing times of checks. And the second half of this video, we'll be going over how to prepare for Easter just around the corner. The deliciousness, the money, the breaking news as well. Huge items. And then in the second half of this video, I'll be answering your questions live on air because I know you got questions about all these incredible big checks. The heat is on, and so is the stimulus. It's home, and it starts right now. And good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. And boy, those recessionary pressures continue to grow. And that is why it's good news, because three checks have now landed. We're going to go over those three checks in just a second. A, B, and C. We're going to go over routing times. When you get them, how do you get them, how quickly do you get them once you apply for. This is the routing show per day on this channel. We're going to go over check A, B, and C. If you're in the live chat, get ready for questions if you have them. And also, if you haven't become a member and jump into the live chat as well. The membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Then we go over the rounding times for that student loan debt forgiveness. It's 7 stimulus. It's coming just a few weeks away. It's confirmed dates. It's locked in dates confirmed by the White House. Then we'll be looking on what's happening with that 6th stimulus that's impacted by China, impacted by Iran. What's its routing time? And then that SS300, its routing time as well. That is to raise your benefits up if you are on beneficiaries. Big recording today. I'm excited you're here, and we're going to go over the incredible details across the board. First, as you know, if you're a viewer of this channel, stimulus packages overlap. And if you just found this channel, let me explain to you. Stimulus packages overlap, so don't think we do one, we stop, and then we start the next one. No. So we're currently in April 2022, and 3rd and 4th are paying out right now, so they're overlapping. And 5th, which is for beneficiaries, is not going to overlap. That has a trajectory further out. But 7th for student loan debt forgiveness is just a few weeks away. It's just a few days away. So 7th and 3rd and 4th will be happening at the same time. So that's how the mindset has to refocus when we do these videos. All right, let's go into the routing times of checks right now. 3 checks are law. They were made law by Joe Biden, your president of the United States, and they are law. And we're going to go over how to get those checks, and then I'm going to go over the routing times of those checks. Those 3 checks will be featured in detail tonight on Amy's LA in prime time at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. But first, let's go over them broadly right now. A, B, and C. A, for stimulus law. B, fourth stimulus law, and C, MSC checks from third stimulus law. All right, the $6,500 check made law by executive action by Joe Biden, fourth stimulus check, is landed. It became law March 31st. Then a $15,000 to $80,000 check became law March 4th by Joe Biden. It is landed. Landed means actually in people's hands. And then a check C became law in third stimulus last year, $24,000 MSC check. Let's go over each of those checks, and we'll go over the rounding times. Check A, a $6,500 check for stimulus became law. And what is the details you need to know? First, let's go over the amount. $6,500. Well, in some states they're paying more. They're paying upwards of $12,000. Number two, it is a fourth stimulus check. It is initially in the Build Back Better Act, but the president took it out. Took it out just a few days ago, made it law, and is now paying out. What is it called? It's called the Homeowners Weatherizing Grant Check. What is the income qualification? $75,000 less, single individual. You get it. Married couple, $150,000 less. You get it. And then if you're on beneficiaries, yes, you can get it, like Social Security or veterans benefits. The last qualification is that you're a homeowner. Huge. So how do you get it? You become a member. Get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system. And in there, you're going to open the membership newsletter. In that newsletter, it's first going to have in there the price of oil, wheat, grain, corn today, and then right after that, it goes right into this homeowner's grant check. So what do? It's going to have the description, and then it's going to have the link, a web link, internet web link. You're going to click the link and go right in, and then it sends you to a national website run by the federal government. You then choose your state. Remember, this is the homeowner's weatherizing grant check. So you choose, let's say, Alabama. And then in Alabama, you choose the Alabama Weatherizing Home Grant. Click it, and you go right in and apply. It is a grant, so it's not income, not taxable, does not disqualify you from benefits, not needed to be repaid. Then it's important to understand that it is huge, $6,500 at least. Third, what is its routing time? Well, its routing time is about 1 to 2 weeks after approved. And that is huge. It is a huge stimulus check. It is A. Now, next check up is B. It is a lot more. It is $15,000 to $80,000. Its rounding time is about 1 week. We have viewers after approval getting funded about 1 week thereafter. Huge. It looks like A, but it's different. So let's go over B right now. First, how much? A lot more. 15 to 8,000. Viewers are averaging about 66,000 to 80,000. The rounding time is 1 week after approved. I had one viewer who got $100,000 from third stimulus from this channel. He went and got B, and then he got another 60,000 plus on top of that. It is a fourth stimulus check. It was in Build Back Better Act. It was taken out by Joe Biden. It is now law. What is this called? It's called the Homeowners Grant Check. But the full name of it is in the membership newsletter. Now, the income qualifications, same as A. Single individual, $75,000 less, you get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, you get it. Senior, person on veterans benefits, and you own your own home, you can get as well. Huge. Now, in the membership newsletter, you go down in there, and B is featured right under A's check. And you'll see this one, the B check, and you'll click the link. It'll send you into the national website. You then choose your state. You'll see a map, and then you choose your state. Let's say Tennessee on the map. You click it in and go right in and apply. It pays for more than just weatherize your home. What does it pay for? It's featured on the membership newsletter. Rounding times on this is about a week after approved. Now, what's important to understand when we're talking about rounding times is that rounding times are dependent upon your behavior. I've never said this before on this channel, so I'm going to say it today. It's something new every day on this channel. Rounding times are dependent on your behavior. So, if you have been a long-standing viewer of this channel and you watch shows every single day, you're in good standing. You're really good. Why? Because the A, B, and C checks, well, at least B, was law March 4th. If you've been, not watching every video and you come in now, it's been 6 weeks, it's been law. Oh, boy, what'd you miss? You miss a lot. You miss thousands of people in your state getting in front of you. Yeah. So every day that passes that you're not a member or not watching a video and pouncing, thousands of people get in front of you and getting in front of you. and getting in front of you. So what does that mean for you? It means that your application rounding times are slowed down or maybe ended. Yeah. You need to pounce. The expression Purple Hawk means pouncing as soon as something becomes law. I immediately feature the membership newsletter the day it becomes law. That's how quickly I move. You should move as quickly. Because what happens? 1,000 people get in front of you, and then the routing times slow down dramatically until eventually they run out of funds. So that's why you want to become a member right today. Get that membership newsletter and pounce as a purple hawk. That is check B, huge check, 15 to 80,000. Now check C is huge, and it has different routing times. What's important to understand is that as soon as you're approved for one of the programs, they start paying out on a monthly basis automatically, generally to direct deposit if that's how you tell them to pay it. And while you may have seen MSC on this channel under fourth stimulus, this third stimulus MSC is a lot more money. Fourth stimulus MSC was only 6 months of checks. This is averaging about, what is it? A lot more. So let's turn to that check C right now. Check C is an MSC check from third stimulus, not fourth. And it is a lot more than 6 months. It is 12 months, averaging about $2,000 a month, averaging. Wow. Many of you are getting over $45,000. The routing time on this check is huge because once you're approved, you get funded every single month that you get that approval for. So let's say you get 12 months of rent checks. They don't send you all the 12 months up front. They send it to you every month automatically, direct deposit that you set up with them. And if you get funded, let's say, for just rent, then you want to pounce and get the other checks as well. Now, how do you get all these monies for MSC checks? Tune into Evening LALATE tonight at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. In prime time, we'll go over all those credible checks. Again, the routing time on these checks are very quick and fast. Now, those are checks A, B, and C. Those are the three checks that are live. They are the checks that are law. Those are the checks that are playing right now. Third and fourth, what's the next check that would definitely pay? Likely the student loan debt forgiveness, because that May 2nd is right around the corner. It's like a check. Why? Because people are forgiving your debts. The President of the United States has set a deadline of May 2nd, which is just around the corner, to make a determination about student loan debts. 3 options. 1, do nothing. I don't think that's going to happen. Number 2, wait it out a little bit longer. Extend the time to deal with the situation. Maybe another 4 weeks. That's a possibility. Or number 3, he does something. Forgive student loan debt. That is big money, folks. Big money. $50,000 is on the table. And he has got to the encouragement of the Obama-Biden education secretary to go do it. Wow. How? Why? It's featured tonight on Evening LA. So that is less than 4 weeks away from now. Oh boy, we'll be watching that one. Next item that is likely to happen really quickly is that SS300. That SS300 has a huge date, and that huge date is really this April. Why? Because you have this big pull and push between Joe Biden and Jay Powell. Jay Powell trying to reduce inflation and Joe Biden needing to swap out cola for inflation. Inflation is tracking 8% right now, 8% in December, 8% in February. Maybe it's even higher now based upon the traders of the 10-year Treasury note. But Jay Powell, oh boy, folks, you can see it on Evenings LA tonight. We have Bullard, who came in. You know who Bullard is. He's the Fed governor out of St. Louis. He always says very aggressive stuff. Very, very aggressive stuff. Jay Powell at a quarter basis point. What was it? A week ago? Half basis point, quarter basis point to raise your interest rates, maybe one meeting. Then we went to 2, half. Now we're at half for 500 years. That's what Bullard basically said in the last few hours. I have that comments later today. So what does that mean for you? It means that if we wait this out too long, your inflation is going to drop dramatically to, let's say, 6 or 5%, and that will not be SS 200, folks. That'll be SS, 1 penny. So Joma needs to make that swap from cola to inflation right today. That is why that is so important. Next, 6 stimulus. Well, this is getting really interesting. 6 stimulus is just 6 stimulus is the messy child in this whole group because this one's a hard one. What's the routing time in 6 stimulus? Really hard to tell. Now, 6 stimulus was supposed to initially just sort of leave gas alone, saying gas is really expensive, but the way we're going to solve gas is we're going to give you money because you cannot afford gas at current price levels. It's $4.24 nationwide at the pump, and the concept of 6 stimulus is you can't afford that. You can't afford a $7 loaf of bread. You can't afford any of these wheat, grain, corn, oil situations called by Vladimir Putin. We're getting off of his products, and to get off of his products, we're going to do some deficit spending, not just here, but also Germany, France, the United States. And then Germany seems to pivot backwards. So this is why these routing times are confusing on 6 stimulus. First, the alliance of Germany, France, and the United States looks confusing today because Germany's suddenly saying, I'm not getting off of Russian products. So Germany, does that mean you're not doing this as part of a team? That's the first part of the equation. Number two, we are always looking at that Macron election in April because remember, this is a trifecta of Germany, France, the United States. At least it was to be. And we're looking for Macron, the French president, to be reelected. So we lock in that trifecta progressiveness. If he doesn't get reelected, then what? Well, if we don't have Germany, then what? Then you have a U.S. 6 stimulus. Until the president said, I'm getting down your price of gasoline. Without 6 stimulus? Very confusing. Even more confusing is what he said, which is not getting down your price of gasoline. OMG. Oh, well, what about that Build Back Better Act? When is that likely to land in my hand? Build Back Better Act may likely go to a vote in April because there is such a tug and pull. That tug and pull is good economic data, bad economic data. We'll feature it more today on Evenings LA. The bad economic data is a miss. When there's a miss, you need stimulus. When the data is a beat, you don't need stimulus, some people would say. A beat is, let's say, we're looking for growth rate of 6%, and we come in at 7% growth rate. That's a beat. A miss is we come in 5%. So on growth, for example, the GDP was a miss just a few days ago, 6.9%. We're looking for 7.1%. Wow. So that was a miss. Big indication for stimulus there. But today, the unemployment numbers, major beat. Ooh, boy. 17.2 million Americans were unemployed a week ago today on this channel. Today it's 1.7 million. Wow. Wow. That is a huge turnaround of events. Now, how many jobs are available? For those 1.7 million Americans, there's 5 jobs available per each American. There are 5 jobs per unemployed American. Yes, that are unfilled. Oh, wow. That is a major beat. So some people look at that data. Some people look at the GDP numbers. I'll have more about all the economic data later on today's recording. But what's important for you to know is that when checks are available, you need to get them. Routing times, the most important thing to know about routing times is don't wait. Don't think it through. When I show you check A, B, and C, get them. Get those applications on file immediately. Don't wait a day. If you're a member, good. Get that application on file. If you're not a member, become a member. Become a member instantly. And then get that newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system so that you then get that application on file for A, B, and C. Don't think about it. Don't think about them too much. Listen to me. Go to the website. Read the application, learn everything you need to know about the application, and pounce. In the second half of this video, guess what we pounce on? We pounce on sugar rolls. As Easter's just around the corner, we're getting ready for everything. We're getting ready for the flora, the fauna, and now today we're going back to the sweets. Yes. How is the best way to get a sugar roll? How should you make a sugar roll? How should you buy a sugar roll? And when is a sugar roll right? And when is it a little bit too much of a sugar roll? Well, that in the second half of this video. Plus, of course, as promised, I'll be answering your questions about everything. So if you have questions about all these items, it's coming up in the second half. Get ready and jump in the live chat. If you're not a member, become a member and jump in the live chat and start asking away. Plus, I'll give you my insight about how to pounce for money and also how to pounce for these types of monies across the board. It's a big home edition for LALATE, and we're just getting started. Here is the members community page. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. As the heat is on here in Southern California, but so is the stimulus. See you back in 60 seconds, but first there's a little bit about the community page on LALATE. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well.
Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues in the big second half of Home LA. Welcome to Michael, Hector, and I think it was Garrett, the three new members who became members during the commercial break. I think I got them right. If I forgot the third one, jump in the live chat and remind me who the third person who just became a member. Congratulations to all the new members who have joined in the last few hours, and to the three people who joined during this chat in just the last few minutes. Become a member. The membership newsletter is delivered Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system. First, how do you become a member? The link is at the top of the chat. It's also under the description of the video. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Next, that membership newsletter delivered to you via the YouTube alerts. So if you got to learn about this video, then you know where the YouTube alerts are. The YouTube alerts will send you that membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that is where you click those links to go right in. Next, let's focus. When looking at A, B, and C, C can be done with just a cell phone. Yes, when getting those three checks, C can be done just with a cell phone. Actually, it can be done with a home landline. It can be done with an old 1970s phone because you're not using websites. You're not using the internet. When we're getting those MSE checks from Third Stimulus, folks, I've been getting those checks for viewers since December 2020. One of the viewers in the live chat, he says, I'm a little bit stressed. Don't be stressed. Don't be stressed. Viewers have gotten these checks for C since 2020. Thousands, tens of thousands of viewers, I should say. Tens of thousands of viewers have gotten these checks. I have no idea. I think we're upwards of probably $30, $45 million that viewers have gotten for these checks over the last few months. And you can do this as well. I mean, I have a graphic here. I can show you some of the numbers that people have gotten from these checks in months before. But in the last few weeks, people have gotten an average $2,000 a month for 12 months. Here is the graphics from late last year. For rent, there you go. These are rent monies that people got at the time. A lot of these viewers came back and got more money. Here are the numbers for utilities that viewers got. Here are the numbers for SNAP. Here's the number for combos where people got multiple items. Here is Mark. Now, here's an example of Mark. He had got to $50,000. He went back and got more money. He got over $100,000. Here's Lorraine. She got 105. So do not stress. What's great news is about this is that you push and you apply. You know, I used to always feature Johnny's story. I haven't featured in about a few days, but it's important to always remember that Johnny started on Monday with 0. By Wednesday, he had 3 items, 45,000. But he didn't stop. He called 15 to 17 places in 5 days and got a 50% rejection rate. He also had a 50% approval rating. And he got 7 programs approved, $80,000. He then helped no less than, I think it was 12 neighbors get $350,000 from these items. He helped 2 family members, his direct family members, get $50,000. So it all comes through. It just all falls together. So I have complete faith in you across the board. When we look at the other items, what's important to understand, and I'm going to go over routing times right now, is that the mindset right now is that these are the checks that are law. These are the checks that are law. These are the checks that have landed. And they're not front page news. As soon as they became law, I immediately feature them for you. The day they became law, not the next day, the day. A and B appeared on the channel the day they became law. See, as soon as it was becoming obvious there was an MSE check, it came into the newsletter. Do not think about a check in the future. When is that other check happening? Don't do that. Why? Because we have so many changing economic developing details. One thing you learn from this channel is things change very quickly. Jay Powell and the Fed with the interest rate spikes. We're all talking about quarter. Now we're talking about half, one half, then two halves, then a whole year and a half. Things are changing very quickly, folks. Things are changing. I had the unemployment numbers last Thursday for you. 200,000. They redid the number today. So last week's numbers were not as bad as they thought they were. So the numbers are changing very quickly. So do not think outward and say, when is that other check? That's fine if you got everything of A and B and C. But don't say, I don't want A, B, and C. I want those other checks, because that is just an ingredient for disaster. But what's not an ingredient for disaster? Not an ingredient for disaster is cinnamon rolls. And what says Easter more than some cinnamon rolls? Well, let's get to the deliciousness. And later in this video, I'll be answering your questions as well. Here's some delicious cinnamon rolls. Nothing says Easter better than cinnamon rolls. And how do you choose the right cinnamon roll? There's so many cinnamon rolls out there, and I'm always a purveyor of them, a fan of the cinnamon roll. And needless to say, I've noticed something lately. Have you noticed them? They all look really good in the packaging, and then when you bite into them, they taste very different. So for some reason, cinnamon rolls have very high curb appeal. They have really high curb appeal. They just look really good in packaging. But when you open them up and you taste them, they taste very differently. Is there a way to get around the very good packaging, which in this case is just, aluminum foil and plastic, and yet shows really well? Is there a way to digest or to figure out or be a detective sleuth into the good and bad cinnamon rolls before you buy it? I think there is. Let's go over the details right now. I'm holding one box right now, and I'm going to show it really close to the camera. So I'm probably going to throw out the lights, but we'll try our best. Okay. So what can you say about this cinnamon roll before I reveal the culprit? Good or bad? Is it going to be a good cinnamon roll or bad cinnamon roll? Jump in the live chat right now. Is it going to be a good cinnamon roll or bad cinnamon roll? If it's going to be a bad one, tell me why you think. If it's going to be a good one, tell me why I think it's going to be good. Let's bring it in closer right there. Can I not blow out the lights? There we go. Here is what I would say if I was just looking at the packaging and watching the video. I'd say it looks good because there's a lot of glaze, so I can see the glaze. I can see the ice, the sugar glaze on top. So they did not go cheap on the cinnamon glaze. That's good. It looks like it expanded well. So it may be soft. And then it has a nice, it has a lot of coloring to it, so maybe it has some good cinnamon. Maybe I'll say negative because it looks sort of boring. It doesn't look like it's inventive. Okay, so if you went through that exercise with me as well, and you're in the live chat, actually, let me jump in the live chat. Let me see the reaction. Did you post good or bad on the cinnamon roll? Let me see the reaction before I do the big reveal. This feels like HGTV. I'm about to show the home renovation. Before I show you the new kitchen, let me tell you what it was before. Here's I'm glad I jumped on the live chat. Patricia, bad. It looks dry. Bad. Bob, looks no icing. Bob, I think there's a lot of good icing on there. Sandy, bad. Probably bad. Sandy doesn't explain why. Tell me why it's bad or good. Bob, it has no icing? No, it has icing. Bob has good icing. I mean, unless you want to swim in the icing. Sandy has a question for stimulus. Bring it back in a second. We'll be on stimulus in a second. Virgil, it looks good. And bad. Where's that frosting? Need more frosting. Boy, folks are going in on the frosting here. And then Patricia says bad. I only like it from scratch. Well, that really is true. Laura has a good question. Repeat the question just a second, Laura. I'll be on that in a second. So, sticky buns versus cinnamon roll. Well, that's a very good concept. So, if someone latched onto that one. Cinnamon roll versus sticky bun. Very, very different issue across the board. Where am I? Yeah, I got locked in cinnamon roll land. So, here are our cinnamon rolls. What are the tricks of the trade on determining where or how to buy it and how not to buy it? Let's go over the details right now. You ready for the big reveal? I'm ready for the big reveal. The big reveal when we're looking at the cinnamon roll is really, can you figure it out by looking at the box? And I'm going to go over the details of that right now. I think you can. Number one, you latched into the first one, which is the easy one. Icing, need more icing. The catch is that a lot of places don't really cover with icing. Now, if you're one of the people that really likes it doused with icing, then good. But I got to tell you, on the stores, they don't really cover it so it's smothered with icing anymore. But that is a first good indicator. But I don't think the icing is really what brings the flavor. The next one is that it's dry. Someone really touched on that. Is it dry or is it moist? Can you tell that through a locked-in package? I think you can. If it has been risen a lot, if it looks like it's a very stretched product, then it's likely to be very moist because unless they took a while to package it, it's likely moist if the date of the packaging is very recent. In this case, it was made that day. And second, that it shows that it was stretched a lot. So that's what's interesting across the board. Oh, interesting. Wait a second. What's the date today? Wait, what? Oh no, okay, I got. Yeah, so this way, I thought I bought all day. No, I'm just confusing what day it is. So no, these were packaged. Well, no, this is interesting. These were packaged 2 days before I bought them. So okay, reality check, LA. Maybe you should look at the packaging date. So these were packaged 2 days before I bought them, and they need to be sold 5 days after I bought them. So yeah, maybe I should not have bought them that day. Anyway, I think we're good. The other, besides looking at the day of packaging, it is really this how stretched the bun was, and more importantly, the raisins. The raisins and the cinnamon. I mean, you need cinnamon and raisins. It's called a cinnamon roll. Now, we had this discussion a second ago. Sticky bun versus cinnamon roll. Sticky bun is a little bit different. Sticky bun needs honey. Cinnamon roll doesn't do the honey. Sticky buns has the honey on the outside. Cinnamon roll has to have a lot of cinnamon. It has to have raisins. Do we see the cinnamon really caked in here? We don't. We don't. Do we see the raisins? I'm looking for the outside. If I'm staring really attunedly, I see 2 golden raisins in one of the rolls, and I don't see any other raisins. Is it going to be a bad cinnamon roll? Maybe not, but it's not going to be very cinnamony, and it's not going to have a lot of raisins, so it may be a miss for you. And for anyone who wants a lot of glaze, then you have a triple whammo. Not enough glaze, not enough cinnamons, not enough cinnamon, raisins, and glaze. You're missing across the board. That was a sort of an education on how to buy and how not to buy. Of course, you got to look at that packaging date, which I didn't do. But you know, they'll be gone by the time of the end of this video. Just let me just click off camera for a second. Let me just eat them. Okay, they're all eaten. All right, I'm back. that was it. I just ate them. They're just all good. So that's how quickly they're gonna last with me. All right, let's jump in the live chat right now. If you have questions about the stimulus, about all these checks, about the economy, about the recession, about inflation, about any of these questions we've been covering today on this channel, jump in the live channel, answer your questions right now. I'm jumping into the live chat, so fire away. Oh, wow, another new member as well. So let's see some of the questions across the board. Bob Bacon, bad rolls. Bob, raisins keep me dancing. Same day rolls, dude. That says Bob. Buns or bums? Sandy. Cinnamon bums? No, it's not cinnamon buns. Not cinnamon buns. Tonya, will we really be getting monthly payments of $2,000 or $1,000? So Tonya has a question. So are we getting monthly payments of $2,000 or $1,000? You are, if you follow the advice of what's featured in this video and this channel. So let's go over Tonya. I guess I pronounced the name right. Let's go over Tonya's question right now. Are we really getting monthly checks? Yes, if you follow the advice of this channel. No, if you do nothing. What's important to understand is that this channel is refocusing people to do things the way it's available now. And I featured a lot today on the brand new Afternoons at LA at 3 o'clock at the very end. I don't want to give away the show, but basically what I say in that video is a year ago today, there was 17.2 million Americans unemployed and no jobs. Today, there's 1.7 million unemployed people in America. So it's a very different landscape. Because it's a different landscape, do you do things the same way you did 2 years ago in 2020? No, you just don't. Do you do things the same way as 2 months ago? No, you don't, because then Jay Powell said we do quarter basis point, indefinitely. Now they're saying half basis point, maybe, 6 months of half basis point interest rate spikes. So, not that saying Tonya was asking that question, but Tonya was saying, are we really getting $2,000 monthly stimulus checks, 1,000? Absolutely. If you follow everything on this channel, that is check C. If you do nothing, you're getting zero. And I have seen some people say, why do I have to do this? Because that's the landscape right now. You do this, and in fact, you get more money. She's referring, of course, to check number C. Here's check number C. So remember, there's two landscapes of where we are: doing something and getting huge checks, or doing nothing and hoping for a smaller check. Look at these checks here. These are huge amounts of money, folks. Look at these big amounts of money. You could do that, or you can sit around and wait for, maybe we'll get a couple $1,000s. Build Back Better Act has $15,000 to $80,000 of checks in there. Of those $15,000 to $80,000 of checks in Build Back Better Act, that when we talk about things for like cluster number 1, home repairs, or cluster number 2, purchase your first home, or cluster number 3, checks for seniors, you got to do something to get those checks. They don't know that you need the check. You're buying a home, they didn't know you're buying a home. You're repairing the home, they don't know you're repairing the home. Or the non-homeowners checks, the same thing. You need to do something to get all those checks in the Build Back Better, $15,000 to $80,000. You can't just say, here I am, where's my check? Now, as to the MSC check in Build Back Better, that is the representation of legislators last year, different economics. The economics are different this week than they were 3 days ago. Everyone say, is this a new video? That's why it's important. It's a new video, because guess what? I have, under the cinnamon rolls, I dare not lift it, I have nearly almost 300 pages of notes of economic data I've covered the last 7 days. Imagine how different the economic data changes by the day on this channel. If the economic data is showing a strong economy, stimulus may not be as strong. If the economy is weaker, then the stimulus may be as strong. When we're talking about those MSC checks in Build Back Better, it's $7,000 over 6 months. Maybe. I mean, that's what they represented in 2011. Compared to this, that's a lot more money, folks. That's 10 times the amount of money. No, it's more than that. I mean, $45,000 versus $7,000. Yeah, that's a whole lot of different money. And that's on average of 12 months. So that is the difference of getting the sums of money that are available right today. You don't want to wait. And then if something does become a law, thereafter you get those checks as well. You get every check that's available to you. You don't say, I like this check, I don't like that check. You get every check that's available for you. Why pass up a great paying check? Let me jump into the live chat and see some of the more questions on today's Home LA. Someone said New York has a waiting list, says Deborah. Yeah, so we do know that. New York has a waiting list. So let me use Deborah's example as sort of a learning example. People always talk about, not say anything about Deborah specifically, but people always talk about the negative of something. New York has a waiting list. Yeah, well, they didn't when I had the announcement. I had the announcement that there's $15,000 to $80,000 checks 5 weeks ago. I said, go get it today. When I say today, I literally mean that day. And I think for the first week of the $15,000 to $80,000 check, what's the example I use on this channel? Javita LALATE. Remember what Javita LALATE did, or Javita Carranza, the head of SBA from 2020. You know what she did then? She said, oh, it's May. I'm going to launch the EIDL grant again. And I used that example when the $15,000 to $80,000 check went live. Why? It was one of the craziest events, and it's exactly what always happens. She announced it was going to go live, but she didn't tell us what day. It went live on a Monday. I said, oh, it's live, the EIDL grant. Go get it. People applied on Monday, got funded by Monday night, that fast. Then people applied Tuesday, got funded on Thursday. Look how that slowed down. The same day to then 2 days later. That people applied on Wednesday, gone. No money. So that was the expression that bred Purple Hawks, means to pounce when money becomes live. So for anyone who says, not referring to Deborah specifically, but for anyone who says, there's a waiting list now. Well, that's because this channel generates a lot of viewers. And while this story has not necessarily been the front of broadcast media, it's been the front story on this channel for 5 weeks. And this channel generates a lot of viewers. And millions of viewers are seeing this channel. Millions of viewers live in New York. And so millions of viewers are applying. And so that is why when I say A, B, and C, I say go get it today. Don't wait a single minute to become a member, because these checks literally do disappear. And then they go on to waitlist. So great question for Deborah. Thank you for your great reminder on that situation. Bob Bacon says, I have cinnamon rolls on waiting list. That's hysterical. Oh my goodness. Marvin, I need to learn how to, it would be fine if to get everything to do. Marvin, what's important to understand is that everything that is covered in the video shows you how to get the checks. Now, if you're watching this show Home LA, I don't go, it is, if you've ever watched Home LA, it is a shortened show where I only spend about 15 minutes on 7 stimulus packages. And what's important to understand is that this is not the comprehensive broadcast. The afternoon show at 3 o'clock is, and the evening's LA show at 5 o'clock is the comprehensive show. When you watch those shows, that is where you learn how to get every check. And there's no other information. The information that comes in those 2 shows has gotten millions and millions of viewers, millions and millions of dollars since 2020. And you can get those monies as well. Every detail, every check, every phone call, what to say, who to call is featured in those recordings. And what I say in today's afternoon show is that replay the video. Go under the video and there's a toggle button where you can back it up to see the point in which Bob Bacon talks about recurring stimulus bonds. Sticky bonds, not stimulus bonds, sticky bonds. And so if something is unclear the first time, replay it back. Don't say to oneself, it's unclear, it's unclear. It's not unclear. It may be indifferent to you that you've not done this before, but it's not unclear to thousands and thousands of millions of other viewers who have gotten these checks. And ultimately, if you listen to it again, you can learn from it and pounce across the board. Let me jump in the live chat and see some more other questions. Hello, family, says Vatswala. I got cinnamon rolls waiting on layaway as well. Says Bob Bacon. Bob Bacon has got cinnamon rolls everywhere. My capri pants fell down in public on November 21st. Says Sandy. That's a lot to know in a live chat, Sandy. I don't know. Just a lot to know. There you go. A lot of insight from Sandy. I don't know where that got in there, but you know. What's important to understand is that when applying the situation, it is all there. The way to approach a video is to understand that the video is educational. And if the video is educational, you should have a pen and paper in hand. If the video goes sort of fast, that suddenly you were like, that's the thing I want, woo, that just went fast. Then replay the section. Replay the section of the video. If you don't want to hear about the section on the 6th stimulus, replay it back to the 4th stimulus section. Don't want to hear about the 4th stimulus, want to hear about the 5th, move it forward to the 5th stimulus part and play it again. Everything that's said in the video is the information you need to do. And then as a member, guess what? Because the membership newsletter slows it down by putting it in writing. So I may say the 6 places to reach out to in the video, and maybe that's a lot to write down quickly. Well, it's all in the membership newsletter. And what about the A, B, and C? A lot to digest in a video. Well, that's why it's all in the membership newsletter. But still become a member. Membership newsletter is Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, delivered via the YouTube alert system. Congratulations to the 3 new members who became members during this live chat. And I thank you for becoming so. Oh, it's 5 now. Well, that changed quickly. And who are the other 2 people who joined? I don't know if I can grab them in the final seconds of this video. And welcome. Oh, maybe I can. Here is Dolores. Welcome to the family. And there is SA. Welcome to becoming a member to this channel. Who else became a member early on? Did I grab them, each of them? I don't know if I can scroll up fast enough. There is Frank Ruiz. Frank, congratulations. Michael. And the first one was Hector. I think the first one was Hector. So welcome. I hopefully got all 5. That's a lot to remember. If I can remember all that, you can remember how to get all this stimulus. I'll see you next on Afternoons LA at 1 o'clock, and then the brand new Afternoons LA at 3 o'clock, then a brand new Evenings LA at 5 o'clock tonight. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.